How does he breathe?
Now you're reacting to the rapper BewhY and 2 songs from his 2019 album called The Movie Star. First we'll be reacting to Gottasadae, which is the honorific form of the verb to say. It is most commonly used in the Bible when quoting the word of God. In the lyrics, BewhY describes himself almost like the Messiah, and the phrase BewhY says runs throughout the song. Some fans believe this is BewhY declaring his rights to the hip-hop throne in Korea.
King of Kings. 3, 2, 1. Is that a... Oh, okay, I literally was like that. Yeah. They're tuning the orchestra. Okay. And that's an
This
A,
is a
yeah.
familiar sound.
I was like, ah. BewhY. Weird. The trombone, right?
Ah!
BewhY Gottasadae 깜치지 말 지었다 나를 위로 지어봐 역사로 살 지었다 주인의 삶이 지었다 여기를 밝게 지었다 여기다 삶게 지었다 구하시는 기준이 나의 지었다 그 나의 지었다 BewhY Gottasadae 지었다 난 선구자의 지었다
Oh my god, that's so That's so unsettling. This is so strange.
I love this dance.
There's like people in the horse stalls. There's like a whole ass choir singing downbeats.
This is awesome.
I want to close my mouth, but I can't yet.
He's fire. Fuck.
I wonder if it's...
How does he breathe? I love how he's like, it's like a 12/8 kind of thing, but then he sneaks in like duple subdivisions.
I feel like I want to say more things because there's things to say, but I'm just like shell-shocked.
That was a pretty cool rap.
Oh yeah, no, he can rap.
That was awesome.
He can rap.
Actually. That was super cool.
I think it references an aria by English composer Henry Purcell. I don't know the name of the aria, but the whole
thing in the background. It just like brings it together because the focus is so clearly on his like incredible rapping, and then they don't like obscure that too much.
What?
It's still going, isn't it?
Oh, I wonder what they're sampling here.
And then he got like the classic film score outro. That's nice.
It sounds like Stranger Things, so I'm just waiting for a portal to the Upside Down to open and a Demigorgon to like eat his face.
I wonder what burning the white flag means. Because like in Christianity, white has a lot of like different symbolic meaning.
Or it could be like burning a white flag, like no surrendering.
That too.
Can we all just take a second to appreciate the fact that he chose like very specific things and then he just stuck with them? It wasn't a whole lot of like, hey, we're gonna be here and now we're gonna go here and then he just like stuck with like a couple simple motives and it sounded great. It felt really good, made me want to dance, and it was a very convincing, catchy song.
I think there's a point, yeah. Developing little ideas, sticking with it. It doesn't have to be all over the place.
It's just really nice because then it just really sounds like you're telling a story.
Those noises, wow. Okay.
It sounds like they're almost saying like it sounds like Sanctus, but like it's not the Sanctus text. Like maybe it's like Cum Sancto Spiritu or something like from the Gloria. I don't know. know.
I live for this kind of shit that like blends things that you wouldn't necessarily think would go together, but like makes a new sound.
Yeah.
I love that. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the background. And it was like, they sounded like, against whatever harmonies were underneath, it sounded like tritones and stuff. It was like really interesting. And then the use of like the choral, like, what's the word? Like plain chant, like vocals sort of. Whatever, Melissa, you know more about it than I do, okay? But like that's sort of what it reminded me of a little bit. Like that like monophonic, they were all
Homophonic.
whatever. Okay, Melissa knows more than I do.
Well, no,
this is Melissa's specialty.
It's just very specific, like Gregorian chant. But that wasn't chant, that was more like chords together, you know? That was like, it was very like, it sounds like it could be in the Romantic era.
Because other reactors call it Gregorian chant-esque, so would you murder me?
This? Not at all.
Okay, I won't keep
Tell them they're wrong.
The vocals were really cool, like
Gregorian chant.
or like I just say
I
that
think it's
chant
Gregorian.
music just like has this sacred quality of it, and like religion and like those deep ties to the past really like make something serious by borrowing that. So him borrowing that and it showing up throughout the song was pretty cool.
It's awesome.
Dude,
It's so
like
good.
the chanting
art.
in the beginning.
Yeah, it's art. That's,
bruh.
That's art.
Half of me like almost expected them to be like doing like the DSE, right?
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
I would have like had to leave. I would have like, I'm so freaking scared right now. Like,
I don't know what that orchestra
like,
was. At the
oh,
end.
all the images and like the dancing and like you have like the very like weird like body movements is. It like feels like you're in like an insane asylum or like some kind of prison or something, and there's just
it was
him.
really culty
It's
vibes.
him in the middle looking at you, and then like everyone's back is to you, and like a circle around him. Dude, so creepy.
We'll be comparing Gottasadae to his song Challan, released on the same exact album. The song is a combination of diss rap, as the lyrics give commentary to the state of hip-hop in Korea, and recognition of the musicians who influenced BewhY, like John Williams and Pharrell Williams. The song expresses who BewhY is as a person and as a rapper, and the song is composed and written by him.
Ooh, okay, so there's a low note, so we already like this song.
Sneak your way into my heart with just any kind of bass at the start of a song,
just so
and you're already
dark,
with it. I love a bass intro. Oh!
Yeah, man, his beats and grooves are just so nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could tell he just, he knows what he wants the song to sound like, feel-wise, and he doesn't, like, he actually makes sure he does it like a really good, thorough job.
I really like the background sounds. It's like rhythmic, and yet at the same time there's like a cohesive groove that like outlines this art.
This is a really cool setting he's filming in.
Damn.
I like how the brass is like continuing his speech almost. Like you don't think he's breathing because like the brass just like continues his sentence, like fills in the missing words. Triple it.
Oh man, it's still going.
Oh man, that's so good. Goes back in duple while the triple's still rolling.
He just keeps going.
Oh, he breathed.
Yeah.
I mean, he breathed. Yes. He breathed again.
Interesting.
But he makes the breathing more like punctuation. Like, I mean,
When
like
you
a
hear
singer
the breath,
would
it's
do.
intentional.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did he just go back into triple? He snuck into that.
such a smooth transition. Yeah.
Wait, what's the meter even? He's singing, he's rapping in 3. But we don't get like a affirmative like meter grounding from any of the percussive elements.
The bass is kind of zippery.
Oh, the chord. Whoa. I like the open fifth and suspended chords by the strings. Very nice. Very neutral.
I think it's interesting how they like meld the voice and the like technological sounds together.
Yeah. That is really odd.
Oh, this is lament bass. I was like, I've heard of this. Oh, interesting.
It's cool how they're like setting the downbeat of the bass line, like not necessarily on one.
Yeah, that was sick.
Because like you can definitely feel the pulse still going, but it's not as obvious as like a lot of other songs in this style or in most styles. So pretty cool effect.
Right. So this one had a little bit more switching between feels. How did you feel it worked out still though, or?
I feel like compared to the other song I like because that would be a song in a club or in a dancing setting that I would just want to dance to. This one, I feel like it's more complex compositionally. And I think it just speaks to his level of artistry to where he can absolutely make something that's catchy that people can dance to, right, in the first song. But the second song, I feel like, okay, because there was like significant metric modulations and things like that going on, specifically using one patch and using that like to be 16th notes or 8th notes. And then like right when he brought the chorus in at the end saying like deja vu, that's where you hear like pitch and stuff like that. Like I just thought it was very, very convincing and just speaks to his high level of artistry.
Totally. I mean, it wasn't super repetitive, right? So it makes it like almost like a really open palette for you to convey something.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, something that like, I don't know who does. I guess Kendrick Lamar does that a lot. There are moments where it like kind of felt like unstable, right? Just because it's not repetitive too, and because of the metric things.
Okay, so I believe that was through composed, which basically means that there's no material that repeats. So usually in a pop song, you would have something like a chorus and a verse, and those two sections repeat back and forth so that you have kind of places for your ear to grab onto in the song. But through composed music just means that there's no repetition at all. The musical material changes all the way through. There's nothing that is repeated or that comes back. And I didn't hear anything I recognized through the whole thing. But I think if he's also trying to like talk about himself and his journey, like I think it makes sense for him to just kind of like float. Like he flows through all the rooms too of the space, like the theater and the hotel, and like so he kind of is wandering through the spaces as like he's wandering through the different musical sections.
I really like his flow. I think his flow is absolutely fire, and he's always on time, which you'd be surprised. A lot of rappers, they don't rap on time. There's these little discrepancies, and they think, oh, I'm so cool doing that, I don't need to fix it. And I think the beat supports it very well, as offers a lot of musical richness. Even from the beginning, the percussions they pop just enough, but they don't overpower the rapper, and I really like that. Almost a bit of a jazz rap type of percussion, like a Tribe Called Quest type stuff. And yeah, this is like S-tier rap for me. Love it.
And something to notice when you listen to his solo parts, which is primarily, I guess, 7/8 of the song. And what's nice is the transition from that to what I call the chorus at the end, which sounds like a chorus where everything sounds afar, it's not so concentrated, the focus is not on him, and then he fades to black or fades to the end of the screen. And I thought that was actually quite interesting to go from this very close audio focus, and then all of a sudden you flush away into the background, and then that's it.
Okay, so Challan was awesome, and here's why it was awesome. Because BewhY has this like uncanny ability to switch between duple and triple in his rapping, regardless of the instrumental.
The thing in the background is going triplet, triplet.
Yeah, there's one moment where he was sustaining duple rhythm in his rapping over the click in the instrumental. It's like in triple, and he kept it going for like
so long.
like I don't know. I
You're
think
out of breath.
I didn't like listen to how many measures / like phrases he
I
let it go,
didn't
but I think he added in an
expect
extra
it to,
one, right?
yeah.
Like we were both kind of expecting he's gonna drop and it's gonna be great, and he didn't. He kept it going, which was like even hyper.
Yeah,
It
and
was
when he
super
did,
awesome.
when he did take it out, there wasn't a drop. Like it was him.
No,
just
it
picking
was
up the
him, and it
triplets.
came
Yeah.
back into the triplets, and it was like I don't know how he
The
like
instrumentals for that
how
entire
his rhythms
song
went
were
back in there.
wild and were really cool, and like the strings that like
Good
because
work.
they did do that little like glimpse of the strings before they really brought him in, and like kind of like sample it first, and then they brought in the strings with like just chords. But like, man, it was cool.
It's just so weird because it kind of like blends the line between music and poetry. But aside from that, in the music, they like combine his voice with the instrumental behind him in a really interesting way. And it's not something that I've heard in like a lot of American rap music. I've not heard the voice really used as an instrument that can kind of sound like other instruments and blend with them in the way that he does. That's really cool.
This song just gave me a whole different vibe. Even though it's electronic music, like writing a song that's that complex and that slaps continuously throughout the whole entirety of it, like that's really hard to do. Even though there were a lot of like repeated like motives and he like kept like rapping in the same rhythm for long periods, it didn't get predictable, which is also really hard to do. Whether he was like doing stuff with like the bass or like just the rhythm of his rap or like putting in silence in certain spaces, like he like kept it going the whole time, and I was just like kind of overwhelmed. And usually that's a good thing when there's so many elements going on that you're just like, holy shit, this is like ear candy the whole time. It's really impressive.